Hey guys, what's going on? So yesterday's video was a little lackluster, and I also made the mistake of having 10 minutes of just blank footage at the end. So I really apologize about that. I was trying to get a video out before Friday ended, and I should have just waited and uploaded a better video today. So that's what I'm doing today, and I'm taking that video down, and we're not going to do something like that again. Today's video, I want to talk to you about the Warsong Gulch jumps. So Warsong Gulch is known for having a lot of jump and terrain features where you can bypass certain obstacles, you can get to places quicker, or you can kind of hide away from people. We tested these a lot when I was live streaming on the beta, but since then, Blizzard has actually changed quite a few of these jumps to either not work anymore or work slightly differently. So in this video, we're going to go over those jumps, talk about the ones that have changed, the ones that have stayed the same, and just kind of get you up to date so when you go into Warsong Gulch to play, you know what jumps are available and what are not. So when we take a look at these jumps in this video, let me know in the comments if you think the same way that I do. I believe that what Blizzard did is they kind of removed and adjusted the jumps that are really game changing and allow for people to turtle in Warsong Gulch and allow you to get to terrain features that are not supposed to happen, versus the jumps that they allowed to stay in the game. They kept the jumps in the game that are more like skill based and everyone can learn them, and they don't really take you to a spot that is necessarily out of bounds or not intended. They just take you to like they help you bypass going all the way up the ramp, or they help you quickly get away from some players. So the first jump we are going to take a look at is actually the one that's in the kind of U-turn up to the ramp, or I mean up to the roof of the Horde base. It's called the banana a lot of times, but this jump is still in the game to an extent, so you can see I can make it up the jump, and then the Tauren model is a little bit harder to get over the lip, but here we are. But there's like this unseen blockage right here that they've placed in. This jump used to allow you to get up onto the top of the Warsong Gulch base on the Horde side, and it's been changed. So you can make the initial jump, but you're no longer able to get onto, there's like a water feature up on the top of the Horde side base, and you can't reach that spot anymore. And I think that's obviously a good change. This allows for no one to be able to like kind of turtle with the flag up there. So then the next jump we're looking at is the one right outside of the Horde base near the Horde graveyard, and it used to allow you to get up on top of the lip right up there and allow you to get onto the top of the entryway for the door, I should say. And that one has since been changed, and you're no longer able to get up there. I didn't really think that one was such a big deal. It just allowed you to get away from melee, but ranged could still attack you. So I think the way Blizzard was looking at it was that was just kind of like an unintended kind of exploit of being able to get up there. So that one's been patched. Now this next one is not as well known, but you were able to jump up on this rock feature right here, and it allowed you to get up onto the top of the roof for the exit portal on Horde side. Again, this one's not as big of a deal. I don't think it necessarily needed to be changed. You didn't really see this one being used very often, but it is one that has been changed, so that one is one to consider. Now the next one we're looking at is pretty well known. This one is for the top of the tunnel on Horde side. It works exactly how it always has. You're able to access the top of the Horde tunnel, and then you're also able to access further up than that. You're able to access the top of the ramp and everything. So that one obviously definitely needed to stay in the game. A lot of players know that one. Quickly allows you to get up to the top of the tunnel and access, say, if a flag carrier is up there, or if you yourself as a flag carrier need to get away from people. Still, a lot of players don't really know that jump, So if you find yourself needing to get away from people, it's a good escape route. And if you don't know that jump, I would practice that one, because that one is one that you'll use quite often. The next one that I wanted to test out was to see if you could get on top of the big log that is kind of overlooking all of Warsong Gulch, and I was surprised to see that you can. I felt like this one was more kind of in a gray zone, where it's like they've changed quite a few of the other jumps, but that one was left. But I guess it's just because it's easy enough to get up there. The next one we're going to look at is actually a jump I didn't really know about until the beta. Stormax kind of showed me it in a Warsong Gulch that we were playing. So you're able to get up onto the relief hut, which is not a huge deal. You're able to get up on the other relief hut as well. But the unique thing that he was able to discover is you can actually jump into the tree. You can see I mess up the first time, but the second time I actually land in the tree. And if you have the flag, it's really hard to spot you in the tree there. The one thing I will say though is range can shoot you, and with spells or their bow or whatever from the ground. So I think that Blizzard kept that one in is completely fine, because you really can't use it as like a place to escape, because you're going to get hit regardless. It is a nice spot. It's a nice spot to get away from melee maybe for a minute, but people can kill you pretty easily. The next one we're going to look at is jumping onto the top of the tunnel for the Alliance side. This one is pretty much unchanged. You also are able to do the same thing for the Horde one, where you can jump up and access the top of the ramp as well. Now here's a jump that I actually discovered here recently. I don't know if anyone else knows about it, but you're able to kind of go partway onto this like horseshoe ledge that's in the Alliance base. It's not that useful. You might be able to escape from like a melee, like a rogue or a warrior, for a minute or so, but again, not very useful. There's like a hidden barrier that will knock you off partway down, so you can only make it onto the ledge for a little bit. But again, it might be useful from time to time if you're trying to escape from a rogue or a warrior. So I think that's pretty much all the jumps that I covered. One jump that I will talk about that I wasn't able to obviously demonstrate as a level 19 is the jump from the graveyard side of Horde base, where you actually bypass going up either the tunnel or the ramp. This jump is really useful if you're a druid and you're flag carrying. A lot of people struggle with it, so it's a very good way to get away from players. Now the only way you can really do it, at least that I've found so far, is obviously with a mount, or if you have like a cheetah form, or if you're ghost wolf form as a shaman. So I wasn't able to demonstrate it here as a 19 because I don't have the speed increase, but that jump is still in the game, and it's actually easier to do this jump in classic WoW than it actually was on private servers. It seems like the ledge and the lip there is actually more well defined, so that's kind of a nice thing. It's less skill dependent, and you can kind of get there pretty easily. I'm running over to that location, so if you didn't know which one I was talking about, it was over here. The reason why I filmed this all on a level 19 was I didn't want to go in there as my level 60 and give the impression that I was like throwing the game or something like that, and I needed to do this on live servers, as the jumps are definitely changed on live servers, and like an emulation server wouldn't show this. So that's why I did it on a 19 instead of my level 60. I know a lot of people ask about my level 19 and his gear and stuff, so I'll show that off here. But overall, guys, that's how you do all the jumps in Warsong Gulch. The fact that Blizzard changed some up definitely shows that they care, at least to me, that they care about preserving a lot of the important things with classic WoW, but also getting rid of some of the more, exploits. Because as we saw with the jumps that I just showed off, most of the ones that are skill-based or accessible to everyone, they're still in the game. The only ones that they took out were the ones that were very broken and allowed players to get to places that they shouldn't be able to access. So I applaud Blizzard for what they did here. I think it's really good. And I'm glad that they kept in a lot of the really important and well-known jumps in Warsong Gulch. I will say that there is actually one jump that is still in the game that I did make a ticket on to report because it's very game breaking, and I thought they would have changed it. They might not know about it themselves, but there's actually a jump that you can do. I'm not going to show it obviously, but it allows you to get kind of to the outside of the map, and you jump into the mountains and no one can see you, and you're more or less out of the game. And that definitely is one of those that is an exploit, and if you do that, I wouldn't be surprised if you got banned or at least got like a suspension for a while on your account. So if you do know about that jump, definitely don't use it, and hopefully they fix that one because it's still in the game right now. But everything else, it looks like they've fixed, they've polished it up, so you're probably going to have less of those games where someone is a flag carrier and they jump to a unique area and get outside of the map, and the game will just go on forever. But they do still, like I said, retain the jumps that are skill based. So awesome stuff by Blizzard. Really happy to see that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in Monday's video. Take care.